Who's that good-looking dude? Blue Jays coming off home opening win and ready for a long season ahead, and that is something John Gibbons knows all too well as the Jays skipper in 2 go-arounds, but he has had an entire life in baseball, something he writes about in his new book. It's called Gibby, Tales of a Baseball Lifer, and he's on the couch with us this morning. How are you, pal?
I'm doing good. I looked a little more stressed than I do. I looked a little fresher.
I know. Why were you so stressed out? I don't know. Like, here's the thing: being a manager of a big league ball club's got to be a little stressful at times.
Oh yeah, it can be. You know, it's not just a game, but it's. I miss it, but I had a nice little career.
What do you miss most about it?
You know, to tell you the truth, this is where I made my name, right, in the coaching ranks. And I miss the players. I miss the competition. And to be honest, I miss the people up here. You know, they were really, really good to me, and it was a great experience.
Is there like one characteristic that like a manager needs to be good?
Good players.
Yeah, right. But then,
one.
So good. Yeah, having good players, but then dealing with those egos and those players has to be something.
Yeah, you know, I think that's your number one job. Is you know, the front office gives you a team, right? Yeah. Your job is to get the most out of those guys and keep everything going the right direction, putting out the fires, whatever it might be, motivation, whatever. It's not all X's and O's like some sports where strategy is like the utmost importance, right? And so, you know, I think some guys do that better than others. But there's no secret. No team wins out there with a lack of talent, right? If you get the good players, then if you do your job and get the most out of them, it's usually going to be a pretty good year.
Well, listen, we got a pretty good team this year.
Very good, yeah.
You were doing the exact same thing. You weren't at the game last night. You were doing the same thing that I was doing, watching the game on the tube at home with a fresh, cold one, watching it,
right.
Kicking back and watching it. And why didn't you want to go to the game? Do you like to watch it at home better rather than the calamity of what's going on in the home opener?
Well, I've seen enough in person, but if you want to know the truth. No, you know what? I was.
That's what you tweeted out last night.
There you go. I was laying on the couch or sitting in the chair. Yeah, I really enjoyed that, but you know, I do miss it.
Well, you wrote in the book about home openers how there's just so much going on. You didn't love them.
No, I don't think anybody does. I give you, you know, there's something, the excitement of it. It's a new start. Everybody, you know, especially your fan base, right? Yeah. They want it. But as far as a player and coach, you know, you get tugged so many different directions on the day. You got to do this, you got to do that. And like today, they'll settle in their normal routine. Yeah. And it'll be great. But it's always a new thing, and that's the exciting part.
Yeah. Thanks for writing the book. It means that I read a book, which Annette always is proud of me when I read books.
I'm glad you read it.
There's some good stuff in it. Do you know what's in there? You know what I found when I was reading it? It's like you talk. You just have a great way of talking, and like I got that from the book, and it tells the story about like you're from I guess you kind of military family, so you kind of went all over, and two stints in Toronto, and that meant a lot to you. You spent some time in Newfoundland. That's where you kind of got your baseball.
I'm a Newfie.
Newfie, right in Newfoundland. But we don't have too much time. But I always loved two things I loved about you. After the game, you always sat back in your chair. You had the media come to you, and they would put always a mic. There you go, right there. That's a typical Gibby stance after the game, talking about the game.
I'm trying to lean here, man. This couch. Well, you got it down.
You always had that same look of leaning back in your chair, and sometimes you had to sit in that chair a little bit early because you get the boot out of the game after arguing with the umpires. So do you actually know how many times you got the boot? Is there a number?
Probably not enough. Because I used to think, if we're that bad, I don't want to sit around and watch it. I'll get out of here.
Is there one thing that you can say that you know that you're getting tossed for?
Oh yeah, you start calling names. The wrong word comes out of your mouth.
Is there one word that you can't say on air that you know that's going to happen?
Oh, guarantee it. The guy you showed there with is probably the worst in the game too. So.
Nice. That's fantastic. So this is Gibby, A Life in Baseball. Tales of a Baseball Lifer is in bookstores and wherever you want to get books online. So thanks for writing that. Well, you have a podcast though too. If people want to follow that, that's got to be kind of cool.
The Gibby Show.
The Gibby
Show, man.
Yeah, the Gibby Show. Hence the Miller High Life sponsorship, right?
That's right.
That's why you got that. Look at you and you're not retired, right? Like you still semi-retired. So always looking. Well, you look pretty relaxed and look pretty good. So thanks for coming.
Well, I tell you what, it's great to be back in this area, you know, and I really miss it, and it's good to see some old friends
and that's the great thing. Not only this area, but it is Canada's team right across the country too.
It's amazing. You know what? They got a great team. They could win it all this year. They really could.
Let's hope they do. Okay. John Gibbons, former manager of the Toronto Blue Jays, and wrote a new book.